Canada is known for being free and safe to live in. Canada's crimes are constantly declining, making the country more stabilized. However, this is not the case for British Columbia. In a recent study, it has shown that British Columbia's crime rate has increased by 17.3%. Now, this rate increase happened just over 1 year, 2018 to 2019. And this can be a very dangerous situation for civilians trying to get through their daily lives. And that begs the question, what is going on and what can the law enforcement do to stop this? Now, police already have a method in finding and predicting where crimes will occur next. This method is called hotspotting. Hotspotting is where you look at the history of the crime to find where the highest crime rate will occur next. Although police have this prediction method, they will not know when and where the next crime will occur, meaning police officers will not be in the area they are needed the most. Police forces need a way to predict when and where the next crime will occur, preventing it from happening again. This also goes for civilians. We want civilians to be safe and comfortable while walking the streets of British Columbia. In this project, we will be creating an early warning system for civilians so they know when and where they should avoid when they walk down the streets of British Columbia. Jesse Cochrane, Jonathan Fennell, and me myself, Nima Shakrai, would like to give these officers and civilians a helping hand. Now, our professor, Dr. Fahim, has assigned us with a project, an early warning system which warns civilians of any crime detected in the area. Now, crimes can happen anytime, anywhere, and police forces have limited resources to cover large areas. For our constraints, we wanted to make sure that our early warning system does not intrude too much onto people's personal lives, disturbing them and making them uncomfortable. We also wanted to make sure that the radius of our early warning system doesn't cover too much of a large area, often resulting in an inaccurate warning as it covers a wide and broad area of British Columbia. Our early warning system also must have a decent amount of consistency. It must include societal and economical factors while remaining sustainable and reliable. Now, we have designed a requirement table for our project. Our program must remain consistent while giving information. Must have an alert message displayed. It must have adequate social impacts. It must impact the economic. And it should be sustainable. Now, our project has 4 main functions. The first function is that it gathers .dat type files. This can be done using the infile command. Our second function is identifying the .dat files. We will be using this by using arrays and variables while extracting the information from the .dat file. Our third function is calculating the predictions. We will be discussing this later on during the video. And the fourth and last main function our program will have is to display the message to the civilians. For our first solution, our team began to brainstorm and we discovered something called the Rossmo Law. Now, this law was created by Dr. Kim Rossmo. Dr. Kim Rossmo is a criminologist and a mathematician. Now, this law was created to geographically locate where the criminal's home may be. But we were curious and wanted to implement this law within our code. And with a little bit of luck on our side, we managed to get an interview with Kim Rossmo himself.
My name's Jonathan Fennell. I'm right now in Kamloops, BC, and I'm right now in the software engineering course.
My name is Nima Shakrai, and I'm also in a software engineering course with John as well.
So we just have a couple of questions we wanted to ask you. What is your background in criminology educationally?
I started off as a mathematics major. Then I got bored with that. I switched to study actually sociology because that was the only place where we had a criminologist at my undergraduate, for my undergraduate degree. And then I ended up completing a master's and a PhD in criminology at Simon Fraser University. But my research ended up being fairly quantitative involving mathematical models because of my math background.
We know that your law was created in the Simon Fraser University. What are your thoughts on creating a program based on your law, that could potentially be used for an early warning system?
Its main purpose is to determine where an offender lives, and software called Rigel was developed in the 1990s by a company called ECRI Canada, based in Vancouver. And there's been some software developed that has its basis in sort of earthquake predictions that look at that. So it would be, to use Kamloops as an example, given this historical data of when and where crimes happen in downtown Kamloops, where will we expect to see crimes occurring next weekend, for example. This algorithm is not for prediction purposes. It would be the wrong tool to use to make predictions. You'd have to find some other algorithm that makes predictions. Like I say, there's a number of them out there. Predpool is one of them, or any sort of crime forecasting tool.
With this, we knew right away that our program was not going to work while running this formula. For our second solution, we went ahead and started to brainstorm and visualize ideas for our code. We set up a team meeting, which can be viewed later on in the teamwork section of our report. As our team discussed the main objective of this project, we decided on the idea of retrieving .dat files within our program using in-file statements. We would originally start with 3 different .dat files. So the first .dat file would be the type of crimes, the second file would be the location, and the third would be the time. As we retrieved and stored the information from the .dat files, we would then want to calculate the average time and location of where the perpetrator may be. This idea allowed us to output necessary detailed information to the police and an early warning system to civilians, reminding them to remain cautious within specific areas. However, there is a couple errors within our solution. So we want to ensure that our program takes economical and societal impacts into consideration. That being said, our very first error within this program is that it's a little too sensitive. If we take a look at the .dat file type 1, you can see all the different crimes being listed here, but they are a little too sensitive. Crimes like sexual violence or homicide may make the civilians uncomfortable. Another issue that we ran into is the type, time, and location of the crime did not have any relation with each other. Therefore, there would be really no point of using this. The program would be illogical in the way it ran.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Fennell, and this here is our code that we are using to be an early warning system for the public about crime. So how this code works is we will have a .dat file of all the crimes that have happened within a certain amount of time. This can be changed from location to location, as you can see here. Now, the first number we have for each of these would be the type of how severe the crime is. Is it a pickpocket, or has there been assault in the area? The second thing is where the crime took place. This will help us find hotspots or crimes where a lot of crimes have happened. And finally, we have the time. This will help it so then it doesn't give false information of crimes happening in the night and then warning the people that they shouldn't go there in the morning. So how this works is we first call upon our first void. It will make an array. So the user will enter an area, and it will go through our list of crimes and find the area matches. Whenever it finds an area that matches it, it will put the type of crime and the time of it in the array. Then it will find hotspots or things or certain times where the crime is worse. It will then find all the hotspots. It will then calculate how severe these are, ranging from low to high, and then it will output it to the user.
Environmental, societal, safety, and economic considerations. As to avoid worrying the user or cause any major societal impacts, the rating system of what is considered to be high, medium, and low risk is displayed each time. Doing so helps to make sure the user does not overreact to receiving a risk that is high and doing something drastic. Economically, this should not affect anyone or any area unless the data becomes skewed by having a large amount of crimes in one single area, which can only be done on purpose or by some major event, causing the data to need to be reanalyzed. If something like that were to happen, it might cause nobody to go there or want to live there, which would affect Kamloops economically and also have large societal impacts. The ultimate goal is to keep the user safe, so if the warning system stops working, it might become a safety concern. Features. The main feature of our project is to notify the user of times during the day that they have a higher than normal chance of criminal activity. This will allow people to make sure that they stay safe during their daily lives. It will also show the activity crime in the area using 3 different levels, making it easy to understand. Our program is meant to run on an app within your device in the Google Play or App Store. We will implement a login page where the user can enter their username and password. Once entered, the user will then have the option to enter their desired location, then see all of the alerts of possible danger zones or criminal hotspots.
And finally, we believe by implementing this program into different applications and processes with the law enforcement, we can not only make British Columbia a safer place, but all across the world, civilians will be safe when traveling on their future trips. Thank you for watching.